Guys, so overthinking, it's something that is really a big part of my life at one point, until like a few years back where I would overthink the littlest things. I would even overthink just hanging out with my friends. I would say I'm down, the next day I'd say I wouldn't be down, then I would say I'm down again. And I would just go back and forth. And it was like a running joke with my friends, but it didn't bother me that I would do that. On top of overthinking, comes from, insecurities, right? When you're insecure about something, you are worried about what someone else may think. Let's say in relationships, right? You're insecure about yourself of how you come across to a girl. You're going to think about, man, like, should I have said it that way? Should I have like wore different clothes? Should I have smelled better? Like you think about all these random thoughts, right? So that's another reason. And then if you have a task that you need to get done or an errand, it stays in your mind until you get it done, right? Because you keep thinking about it. So I found this one tip that has helped me overcome all of this. Like to this day, I don't overthink anything anymore. And it's just driving in silence. And it sounds very simplistic, but when you're driving, at a certain point, it's in your subconscious and how to drive. Like you're unconsciously, I don't want to say you're unconsciously driving, you're subconsciously driving where you know when to put your foot on the gas, you know when to put your foot on the brake, right? You know when to do a turn signal, all of that. So you don't have to think, right? You're kind of just doing. And because of that, you have all this extra blank space in your mind that can go anywhere. And typically we fill it with music or listening to podcasts, right? Especially, and I'm specifically talking about when you're driving by yourself, not someone in the car with you, right? That's what we typically do. So we're filling up that space with that. But what I started to do 3 years back is I would just start driving in silence. I would just do this once a week. And what I noticed when I did that is that extra blank space I had in my mind, I was able to have all my thoughts just run freely, right? And the things that I was overthinking about were things that I could start actually addressing. Because in your day-to-day life, when you're, at your home or you're out and about, but typically when you overthink, you're by yourself, right? And if you're at home by yourself, you will want to distract yourself with, your phone, you're watching your shows, you're on your laptop, right? Like there's so many ways to be distracted in today's world that you never address overthinking. But when you're driving in silence, you can't be on your phone and driving. Like you can't, you know what I mean? You're limiting those distractions. And if you don't have music or like podcasts or anything of that sort going on in the background, then you're simply just alone with your thoughts. And I've also found it very beneficial to do this because of the fact that your mind is more clear. So because you're just kind of driving out, you're not cooped up inside, you're seeing scenery, right? Your mind is just in a better place. And the way I look at it is that there's all these thought bubbles that are sort of in the air, right? That you're thinking about, right? And now you have time to address each and every one of them. So the first thought bubble, right? Going back to the example I gave to you guys about my friends, about me overthinking, like I wanted to hang out, but I'm actually, no, I'm not down, I'm down, like that back and forth I would do. I actually had the opportunity to understand why that was happening. I vividly remember this where, okay, I would ask myself, okay, I'm overthinking this. Why am I overthinking this? Okay, well, at the time I was in school, so I felt that I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get enough work done to deserve hanging out. And I would just go back and forth with that. And then I would think, well, why do I feel that way? Okay, because I'm not managing my time properly on the days leading up to us hanging out. So then I thought about that. Then I was like, okay, well then how do I manage my time better? Okay, well today, this is when I have classes. This is when I should study. This is when I want to take a break. This is when I want to go to the gym. So I just started to map it all out, right? Leading up to hanging out. And I'm a planner, so I would be the one actually making the plans, which is kind of funny thinking back on it, and I would back out. But I would make these plans like at least a week in advance. So I would have enough time to, schedule my routine up until that point. And then boom, okay, now I understand why I was overthinking it. And from that day moving that day forward and moving on, I stopped overthinking. So that's one thought bubble down. And you keep doing this process for all of your thought bubbles. And I would do this once a week. And it just got to a point where I just started to address everything that I had to do. And I would just always get to the root reason as to why I'm overthinking it. Even when it comes to insecurities, I felt that at a certain point, I didn't present myself in the best light to people in general and women, right? And I noticed I was struggling in that area, and I had to think and look within when I was driving. Why is this happening to me? Why are people not feeling as attracted to me? So I would try to learn how I could be better, be more self-aware, think where I could be going wrong. And then, you just correct it. And then eventually all these insecurities become things that you become secure about. You become more confident. You start to overthink less. And the last example I just gave you guys earlier was, when you have tasks to do and you're not doing it, well, why am I not doing it? And I realized I was just afraid to start because I felt like I had to have things all figured out. And even with YouTube, like I thought I had to have this all figured out. I've been thinking about this for over a year, but I didn't start until later this year. And you don't have to have it all figured out. So once I realized that, okay, boom, like that thought bubble is gone. So very simple way to overcome overthinking. We all do it as humans. There's something that just sticks with our mind, but it's just all about addressing it. And when you are in the right state of mind, and I realize I'm in the best state of mind when I'm outdoors and I'm seeing scenery, and then you can't be distracted, right? When you're driving, you should not be distracted, right? I hope you're not on your phone while you're driving. So I figured, why not just sit in silence and then just allow these thoughts to run? This is the best way I found possible for myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I wanted to mention, when you also do start thinking and you start conquering these thoughts and you stop overthinking, this is you working your way onto a pioneer mindset. Because pioneers, they have to stay focused. When you're overthinking, you're not focused either. So you need to address all these issues so you can go on the path to success that's meant for you. A puppet mindset is the ones that want to be digitally distracted, right, on your phone. Like you have your overthinking things, but you want to ignore those thoughts, right? I don't want you guys to have that puppet mindset. So try this technique out. I guarantee you it's going to help you stop overthinking. And if you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Share with a friend that needs to hear this, that constantly overthinks. And subscribe to me if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next one.